Now you know what ITSM it's all about. Let's talk about what benefits brings an IT that operates under the information technology by implementing an IT service management. An IT service management offers various benefits. It streamlines processes that automate tasks that enhances overall productivity on efficiency. What you need to do that means like any process that you put it in, you need to increase the efficiency by doing what? Add an automation on it. Any tasks that are done repeatedly manually by people, put it in some machines. That doesn't mean like you're gonna cut off people's job, but it just helps to and provides an efficiency of a production. The other benefits of IT service management is a proactive support where you won't have of any issues very fast, and you want to request to create a more positive experience for the employees, meaning put it in mechanism where you will detect the incident or any issue as soon as possible it happens so that you already know what to do. Nevertheless, what you need to do is optimize the resources and to minimize any operational costs. How an organization can do that, it's looking to what needs to be automated, what needs to be reduced, what needs to be all that is to look on in terms of on a costs management. Let's give you an example. We have a bunch of infrastructure component. Perhaps those components are no longer to the company. Why? Because technology changes all the time. The job of IT service management is always to find a way to reduce costs. For example, some services they may require 2 or 3 servers to handle the services. Now there is a new server that can handle all those three in one. This is one of the benefits of IT service management. It's always to find ways to optimize the resources and to minimize the cost is number one on IT service management. Now, when it comes to the IT service management, beyond having those benefits, let's talk about what are the key ITSM processes. The framework to deliver those IT management is it's very critical because you need to ensure that the services are reliable, especially when you have an incident management. On incident management is the key process that it quickly restores the service to minimize any disruptions of the services. And the whole point here, when issue arise, the incident manager roles is to resolve as soon as possible. The other key process that is very critical is the problem management. What does it do? After the incident happens, we need to find out why it happened and what caused it. The problem management underlining all those issues, and the whole goal is to prevent that the issue it won't recur again. Find out what happened, why it happened, and make sure you implement mechanisms that those issues won't reoccur again. The other key process within IT service management is the change management. Why do you need the change? You need to ensure that all the risks that are coming in by implementing any improvement, you use the change management to control and to mitigate all those risks. But the objective here is to reduce the risks because you may want to implement a permanent fix, but make sure like you do not cause any issue when you're implementing. That's why requests are coming in. You have a change management board where we'll evaluate all the risks that it takes before you implementing those services. The other key process that is very important within the IT is the service level, where it has to monitor services to meet agreed standards. What are those services or what are those standards? Any organizations have a service level agreement with the customers. Let's say uptime. A customer may be putting up a condition saying, hey, I'm going to buy your IT service products, but they need to be available 9%. For example, you are not just giving like a little publicity for the Netflix. You buy the Netflix services, although we may not be reading like those terms and conditions, but if you read it, the Netflix tells you, hey, you're paying me $20 a month and your Netflix will be available 99% all the time. It is called service level agreement. There are other agreements where it's internal, where we can always look into each department and find out saying, hey, you are controlling the development, you are controlling the architecture, you are controlling the engineering. What is your service level operations? How you operate everything else? All that, those type of services are within the service level management. On other important key process within IT service management is the knowledge management. Why do we need it? Because you need to improve those problem solving. As I said early on the problem management, lesson learned, you need to document what happened. And you need to keep on a specific area, which is the database, where the knowledge management will be able to help if next time an issue reappears, you go quickly to that knowledge database to find out what happens. And I can guarantee you the incident will be resolved on a minimum time instead of the higher time that is supposed to. Why? Because you already know which steps to take in order to resolve that incident. So now, what else we need to do when it comes to the ITSM service management in organizations? We know the key processes. Now, let's implement them. And what are the key steps to implement them? First, your organization needs to do an assessment to assess and identify what all are the gaps or the scope or the goals of the entire implementation of those processes. And what you're going to do is, let's do the planning. Let's plan out, let's define what are the goals and what are the objectives and the roadmap. That's where the project management comes in to tell, hey, from January to December, we're going to do phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and that's a part of the implementation steps. Once the roadmap is all set up, then we need to train the employees, meaning training your staff on IT service management. And the tools will be very crucial. Why? Because you need to ensure that everybody knows their roles and responsibilities. Because once the services or the key processes are improved, everybody needs to know what they have to do. Who are those everybody? Just quickly, is you will have an incident management people, the problem management people, the change management people. So all those key processes, they all have their roles and responsibility assigned to individuals. But those individuals, they needs to be trained before on the deployment. And once we are on a deployment phase, this is where we will actually implement and choose what is the framework and process that the organization will be as a decision. And next, and nevertheless, we will closely monitor the progress and make any necessary adjustment to ensure that whatever we put it in, it works and it is effective and sustainable. Remember, our objective is to reduce the cost. Well, let's monitor if everything else is within the cost and be ready to change anything if it doesn't satisfy those deployments.